Barb. So it's 10 o'clock, so that's the notice time. So we'll go ahead and begin and call the hearing to order. My name's Scott Summers. I'm General Counsel with the Nebraska Department of Education, assigned to chair this morning's rule hearing, the subject of which is proposed revisions to Title 92 Nebraska Administrative Code, Chapter 24, or commonly known as NDE Rule 24, titled Regulations for Certificate Endorsements. Today is Wednesday, July 7th, 2021, and it is now 10:01 in the morning Central Time. We are conducting today's rule hearing via Zoom video technology. The legal notice of the hearing was published in the Omaha World Herald on May 27th, 2021. Real briefly, guidelines for testimony. First of all, a Nebraska Department of Education staff member, Kelly Heineke, will describe and explain the proposed revisions to Rule 24. This will be followed by testimony from interested persons attending or watching. Each person presenting written or oral testimony is requested to 1, state a concise suggestion or recommendation of what action you would like the state board to take. 2, state the rationale or reason for your recommendation. 3, you may reinforce, but please refrain from repeating previous testimony. Each person will be limited to 5 minutes. If additional time is necessary, it may be granted at my discretion. At the conclusion of all testimony from interested persons, Ms. Heineke will have the opportunity to respond to the testimony presented. That will conclude the testimony. The testimony today is being recorded, and that recording will be made available to the State Board of Education and the public via YouTube at the time the State Board considers the adoption of the proposed revisions to this rule. All written testimony must be submitted to myself prior to the end of the day at 5 p.m. in order to be made part of the record of this hearing. That can be sent to, if there's any such testimony to come in, that can be sent to scott.summers, SUMMERS, at nebraska.gov. With that, we'll go ahead and have Kelly Heineke provide a description and explanation of the proposed revisions to Rule 24.
Thank you, Scott. Good morning. My name is Kelly Heineke, and I am the Director of Educator Preparation Program Approval at the Nebraska Department of Education. The following is a short synopsis of the revisions to Title 92 Nebraska Administrative Code, Chapter 24, Regulations for Certificate Endorsements. The first is 00.04, Provisional Special Education. We're replacing the term provisional special education with interim special education because according to federal law, in order to be considered qualified, the state shall ensure that each person employed as a special education teacher in the state who teaches elementary school, middle school, or secondary school has not had special education certification or licensure requirements waived on an emergency, temporary, or provisional basis. Use of the word provisional in the title has caused confusion about this endorsement, and so the language is being adjusted. 005.02, principal. The grade level was changed from 7 to 12 to 6 to 12. Certification endorsement requirements. Language changed to remove confusion and create clarity around the number of graduate semester hours and clock hours for internship/field experiences required for the different endorsement grade bands offered. 006.05, anthropology. Anthropology was deleted as an endorsement that can be added. This endorsement is only for individuals who already hold this endorsement or are recommended for the endorsement by standard institutions of higher education prior to August 1, 2021. Nebraska institutions will not be able to recommend this endorsement for placement on teaching certificates after August 1, 2021. 006.19, economics. The grade level was changed from 7 to 12 to 6 to 12. Certification endorsement requirements. This endorsement requires a minimum of 36 semester hours, including 30 hours in economics and 6 semester hours in one or more of the other social studies areas, geography, history, political science, psychology, or sociology. Note, anthropology has been removed as one of the social studies areas. 006.20, elementary education. Certification endorsement requirements. Language changed to remove confusion and create greater clarity. Language was removed to avoid duplication of coursework already addressed in Rule 20. Academic coursework language was streamlined to remove coursework language not directly related to academic coursework. 006.25 Geography. The grade level was changed from 7 to 12 to 6 to 12. Certification endorsement requirements. This endorsement requires a minimum of 36 semester hours, including 30 hours in geography and 6 semester hours in one or more of the other social studies areas: geography, history, political science, psychology, and or either or social studies, or sociology. Note, anthropology has been removed as one of the social studies areas. 006.31 History. The grade level was changed from 7 to 12 to 6 to 12. Certification endorsement requirements. This endorsement requires a minimum of 36 semester hours, including 30 hours in history and 6 semester hours in one or more of the other social studies areas: geography, history, political science, psychology, and or either or sociology. Note, anthropology has been removed as one of the social studies areas. 006.41 Political science. The grade level was changed from 7 to 12 to 6 to 12. Certification endorsement requirements. This endorsement requires a minimum of 36 semester hours, including 30 hours in political science and 6 semester hours in one or more of the other social studies areas: geography, history, political science, psychology, and or either or sociology. Note, anthropology has been removed as one of the social studies areas. Psychology. 006.42 Psychology. The grade level was changed from 7 to 12 to 6 to 12. Certification endorsement requirements. This endorsement requires a minimum of 36 semester hours, including 30 hours in psychology and 6 semester hours in one or more of the other social studies areas: geography, history, political science, psychology, and or either sociology. Note, anthropology has been removed as one of the social studies areas. 006.48 School librarian. Language was revised to include / reflect current verbiage. 006.55 Social studies. The grade level was changed from 7 to 12 to 6 to 12. Language and endorsement requirements were revised to include and reflect Nebraska standards. Anthropology will no longer be offered as a course of study to meet the program requirements. Certification endorsement requirements revisions include 60 hours total are still required. However, the hours have been redistributed as such, requiring 12 hours, formerly 9 hours, of study in American history with 3 hours of diversity coursework, requiring 12 hours, formerly 9 hours, of study in world history with 3 hours of diversity coursework, requiring 9 hours, formerly 6 hours, of study in political science, government/civics coursework, requiring 9 hours in formerly 6 hours behavioral sciences with 6 hours in psychology and 3 hours in sociology coursework, requiring 9 hours, formerly 6 hours, in geography with 3 hours of human geography and 6 hours of geography electives, requiring 9 hours, formerly 6 hours, in economics with 3 hours in microeconomics, 3 hours in macroeconomics, and 3 hours in economics electives, requiring 3 hours of the required social studies coursework to be directly related to topics of study specific to the state/region of Nebraska. Definition of diversity added to rule to reflect the diversity coursework requirement. 006.56 Sociology. The grade level was changed from 7 to 12 to 6 to 12. Certification endorsement requirements. This endorsement requires a minimum of 36 hours, including 30 hours in sociology and 6 semester hours in one or more of the other social studies areas: geography, history, political science, psychology, and or either or sociology. Note, anthropology has been removed as one of the social studies areas. 006.72 World language. The grade level was changed from K8 712 K12 to K8 612 K12. Language and endorsement requirements were revised to include and reflect the Nebraska standards. There's an increase in the number of hours from 15 to 30 that institutions may waive for a candidate to demonstrate proficiency in language of the endorsement being sought. Testing options, in addition to Praxis 2, were expanded to include the oral proficiency interview, OPI, at advanced low level of proficiency in Western languages, and the intermediate high level for non-Western languages and classical languages, or the Common European Framework of References for Languages, CEFR, at C1 level for Western languages and B2 for non-Western languages. Appendix C, Nebraska Rule 24 endorsements, content tests, and passing scores. Appendix C was updated to include the new praxis tests and scores. To inform the department while drafting the revision to Title II, Nebraska Administrative Code Chapter 24, Regulations for Certificate Endorsements, stakeholders were engaged and input was gathered from the Nebraska Council on Teacher Education, representatives of teacher preparation institutions, school and district administrators, and educational professional organizations, including the Nebraska Council of School Administrators, the Nebraska State Education Association, and the Nebraska Association of Colleges of Teacher Education. This concludes my testimony.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. At this time, we'll take any testimony. We don't have a lot, it appears, online, but if anyone who is out there on Zoom wishes to make give any testimony, please come forward at this time and unmute and speak. And state your name and who you represent, if any organization. Doesn't appear we have any takers. Is that a fair? I'm going to wait 5 more seconds in case there's a technology issue. Okay, seeing and hearing none, I guess that would conclude today's hearing on proposed revisions to Rule 24. I'll ask Kelly or Brenda again if either of you have received any advanced written testimony to be made part of the record. Kelly, as you said earlier, no.
I have not.
And Brenda, we haven't either.
We have not.
Okay, so this will constitute the record of the hearing. Kelly, with your permission, will make your testimony, which you read from, which is already on letterhead, part of the hearing officer's report. Our office will have a hearing officer's report summary of the hearing that will go to the board and be part of the board agenda and record, I would assume, at the August board meeting, where the board will likely consider the final adoption of these as the proposed rule for circulating under the Administrative Procedures Act. So thanks for attending and have a good afternoon, the rest of the morning.
Thank you.
Bye.